Hello everybody and welcome to my stream. My name is Technomagus and we are on day 4 now of Final Fantasy VI Advance. So when we last left off, we had journeyed to Thamasa and we found the cave where all the Espers were hiding. We had a nice talking with them and everybody lived happily ever after the end. Oh wait, except for the part where Kefka came in, killed everybody, and raised an entire continent into the air. So, with that being said, we decided to go raid Doma because because it had been unlocked after the Empire decided, oh wait, we don't need this place anymore. I'm sure Cyan really appreciated that. Anyway, we still have a couple other things we probably want to do before we go off to the floating continent. I honestly can't really think of them. So with that, let's just get going. Oh, actually, before we do anything, we want to set up our party for the floating continent. Now, we're only going to be allowed 3 party members on the ascent to the floating continent. I don't know why, arbitrary headcount limit, sure, why not? So let's take these 3, because they have quite a significant amount of experience and also an excessively large amount of HP and MP thanks to the exploits of that little glitch from earlier. So, let's see here. Alright, so now that we are set for the floating continent, let's get started. Yeah, I know, I just set up the party, but whatever. So this is another one of those forced encounter type areas. As you can see, we can move around on deck while we're here, which allows us, with the exception of the first encounter, it allows us to re-encounter or to go into the menu to heal up and redistribute equipment or whatever. Pretty much every single encounter is going to be pincer attacks. So make sure that your guys have plenty of healing. Fortunately, Dan's ignore silence. Oh, I should probably give everybody their Esper, shouldn't I? Let's see here. Alright, so now we have all the Espers again. There's a couple encounters that we have to go through before we can actually continue to the next section. You actually want to stick to the back of the airship because that's where the boss battle is. If I remember correctly, I believe it's Wind Rhapsody is the native dance for this place. Yep. One advantage of Mog's dances is that the multi-attacks actually hit both sides of a pincer attack. And that's your signal to get to the back of the airship, where the boss encounter is, but there's still like another one or two more fights before we actually see who it is. And in case you're wondering, the missile is actually a percentage-based attack. That's why it dealt so much damage. It deals 1/4 of the character's HP and damage. Oh, there's that strange thing that they were talking about. Alright, and look who it is. It's that goddamn octopus. Fortunately, he's not actually lying. This is the final time you actually fight him. Though it's not the final time that you actually see him, unfortunately. And as usual, he is completely useless. And that was the thing that actually brought Ultros with him. Now, all you really have to do is just deal enough damage to Chupon to get him pissed off. Because, however, he absorbs fire, but he's weak to ice. And it doesn't matter whether or not you kill Ultros. As you can see, they're both pretty much useless. And that's what we were waiting for. Because he basically just throws you off the ship, and then you have to fight Air Force. There's actually 4 targets on this thing. There's the 2 missile pods, or the laser gun and missile bay, the Central Air Force itself, and then there's also the bit on the front of the machine, the little cog thing. Fortunately, thanks to my super boosted magic stat, it dies really easily. Okay, and now we are on the floating continent. Get ready for another difficulty hike. Because these guys are pretty crazy. Fortunately, they are not strong against fire, similar to the ones in the, or similar to the monsters in the sealed cave. So, but behemoths hit hard, and they keep hitting until they stop. Alright, so let's see. And unlike every other time with Shadow, he will not leave your party until you leave the floating continent. So there's no random, hey, I've earned my pay, we're done. So you can suit him up pretty much however you want to. But he also comes with no equipment whatsoever. Actually, that might have been because I stripped him before the event in Thamasa, but you know what, whatever. Alright, so let's give him some magic too. And a convenient save point. Now, like I said, you cannot, once you get on the floating continent, you cannot leave until you beat the second to last boss on it. So let's get going. Fortunately, these guys are worth a ton of magic AP, so you can learn spells really quick here. Which is good, because this is pretty much the last location before the second half of the game. Think of it as the Disc 1 final dungeon. Earth Blues is the native dance here, which is also, of course, the weakest dance. Aren't they adorable? Now, there's a reason we actually want him to learn those spells, which I'll get to, because it comes in handy against the boss. Now, you can bring Strago here because a couple of the enemies do use Strago's lures. So it wouldn't actually be a bad idea to learn a couple of them. Like, the Apocryphas use level 5 Death, the Brain Pan enemies use 1,000 Needles, which is a good fixed damage dealer. And this is why you never attack with instant death weapons against undead enemies. We don't actually want to go up there yet. We want to go over here. Now get ready, because this is a monster in a box, and it is a borderline boss encounter. But before we do anything, we want to steal from this thing because, well, when this guy doesn't have high potions, he has Genji gloves as his rare steal. Now the goal is to kill this thing as quickly as possible before it comes and murders the entire team with Revenge Blast. I don't know why I told him to steal. Okay. Um, yeah, pretty much it can and will kill most characters with Rogue Jab. The only reason the only reason they're surviving it is because they're in the back row. Yeah, it's a really powerful dagger for Shadow, which is useful for getting through this area. Now keep in mind there are no shops on this area, so make sure you have everything that you need before coming here. There we go, see? Got the Genji glove. And there goes Shadow. Alright, so let's get some Espers passed around. The enemies here don't really do physical combat that much, so the counterattack of the Black Belt isn't actually that helpful. It's best to just deal as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. Brain pans are also really dangerous because they stop your party. And if all characters are stopped, well, you just sit there and take damage until you die from it. Not very pleasant. Oop, dead end. Gotta go to the other side. I wonder. Nope. Surprising it did not snort any party members that time. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so let's get back to all of the encounters. Let's get Shadow and New Esper. Get him started on the healing path. Hooray for useful shortcuts are useful. Hooray for useless Shadow is useless. Bye, Locke. No one loves you. Bye, Terra. Go Mog. Alright, let's get over to the next segment of the floating continent. As you can see, the guys here on the floating continent actually have quite a significant number of good steals, so make sure to get as much use out of lock as you can. Alright, so on to the next segment. Now we're actually almost to the end of the floating continent. It's not a very long dungeon, but there's a lot of enemies, and you want to definitely spend some time stealing stuff, you know, just so you can get all the good items. And you also want to make sure that you thoroughly explore, because once you leave this place, there is no going back. Oh, that's bad. As you can see, this path does not open up at all. But actually, where we want to go is right up through there. That leads to the boss. But first, we want to go down, because there's a save point right below us. Right down here. We're just going to take a quick nap, drop a save, and then I'm going to break off this video and I'll be back in a few minutes to finish out the floating continent. So, see you in a little bit.